Hello, hello, hello. What's happening, people? What's happening? Let the class begin. Let's go. Hey, what's up, Janine? What's happening with you? What's going on? Let me get this right. So I have it right. Am I there? There we go. All right, let's go. So y'all know it is I Am That Teacher series. We are up and running. Let's go. Look, I was running to get here. Y'all is running because I have Game Changers. This is my Game Changers book. So I have this course right before this one. So I was like, how do I get here? So we're gonna have a good time tonight. Let the class begin. Look, I need to ring the bell. It's like old school. You got to ring the bell. Let me pull up my bell. Let me get it so I have it. Because I have been trying to do this, but let me put it in. I might not be able to ring the bell tonight. It ain't showing up tonight. Yes, sound effect. Yeah, we won't get the bell tonight. It's not showing up. I'll find it. Everything but the bell came up. All right, we'll get started without the bell tonight. Let the class begin. Let the bell ring. All right, so what are we talking about? Right, Jenny, I'm sorry, I keep calling you Jenny. Jenny's like, where's the bell? Where's the bell? Let me see. Let me see if I can find it, Jenny. Because it acts up when I can't, it's not acting right. So my system, and then I was switching systems. And we were on Zoom. So I went from Zoom to coming here. So it was not, no, it's not coming up, Jenny. Jenny, I keep calling you Jenny. Yeah, it's Turn Up Tuesday. Really? It's Turn Up Tuesday? Yeah. So I got 86 now. So this thing comes up with 86 bells. We'll deal with it. All right. So let's go. So for tonight, we're going to have by the time we get to the end, I'll find it. But here's a low. It's not as loud, but y'all will hear it. Oh, now it's gonna look. Then it's gonna play my church song, right? All right, let's go. There it is. It's a little bell. All right, let's go. Janine, we'll get back to it. I can't find it. Don't worry about it. All right. So look. So tonight we are talking. I want you to repost. I'm sorry, I'm all discombobulated. What's going on, Constance? All right, repost, tag a teacher. Do me a favor. Repost, tag a teacher. Repost and tag a teacher. And I'm still looking for this bell for y'all. There it is. So you got the bell. I'm out of the doghouse. All right, let's go. So repost and tag a teacher. Next up, challenge review. What did we talk about last night? So we said find a way to celebrate your students. Find a way to celebrate your students. Hey, what's up? Hey, Donna. Hey, Jeray. So I really just want to remind you what we talked about last night. We talked about finding a way to celebrate your students, honor them in this season, go a little extra beyond the normal. All right, let's do that. Now, tonight we talking about real struggles of teachers. Real struggles of teachers. So look, basically I read different articles and different stuff, and I read this article today that was talking about struggles of teachers, and I was like, wow. So are these real struggles of teachers? So I came up with some too. So look, let's define struggle first. A forceful effect to get free of restraints or constrictions. The struggle is real. Let's get it. So first thing I want to talk about. Teachers struggle all of the time, yet we have the answers for everyone's problems. We have the answers for everyone else, but we struggle with things too. So teachers' internal battles are real. Let's talk about some. Let's talk about some of these battles. Y'all ready? All right. The battle between snapping and staying patient with our students. Just think about that, y'all. Y'all remember a moment where y'all wanted to snap? Or you snapped and you should not have. Look, we do it, y'all. I remember when I snapped on a student. Okay, all right. I cursed. I used profanity. I did use profanity with a student before. I did. I shouldn't have. I know I shouldn't have, so I'm not going to tell y'all the situation. But I remember the first time I remember the very first time I got truly, truly frustrated with students. they start fighting in my class, and they were fighting, and they got on my desk and knocked my stuff off my desk and broke some of my stuff. And I was like, oh my goodness, really? And I went off. It stopped the fight though, because they had never heard me go off like that. But I think where I was raised came out, and I wasn't real cool about. I didn't have I had no class about it. I just snapped. But that is a true struggle of a good teacher. You have to learn how to balance that thing, because you will cuss a kid out. And some teachers curse at students. And I say cuss, I know. But some teachers use profanity on a regular basis. But depending on the community you're in, it's not going to be allowed. So you really have to come to grips with that thing and like not do it. I had to do better. So I don't do it now. And I stopped doing it in my latter years. But it's something I had to grow on. Because even when I got comfortable around kids, I used to get too comfortable sometimes, I must admit. All right, another true battle. The battle between wanting control and letting students run the learning show. Do you all do that? Do you all let the kids actually run the learning show? Is it coaching, or are you just really doing all of the teaching? Are you standing in front of every last one of them doing all of the teaching? What does that look like? What does that really look like? Are you doing all of this teaching? Do you allow them to figure out the rubric sometimes? Like, what should you be scoring on here? How should we do this? What are you doing? Sometimes we get so caught up with our lesson plans and being in control. We want the lesson plans to be right. We want to be in control, and we're not allowing the students to develop, problem solve. And sometimes we create these spewers, and they can spew out information. That's not very productive for our students. We're teaching them to spew data, spew information, repeat it, regurgitate. But are we teaching them how to problem solve? And we're creating these monsters that go into the work world and they can't produce. They can't problem solve because nobody has given them a formula of plug and play. So stop allowing your kids to think that life is going to be plug and play because they have a formula. Okay, 2 times 2 is 4. What happens when 2 times 2 doesn't equal 4 and you have to remeasure, cut, or you have to problem solve, or you got to figure this thing out, go back into the account to see where it went wrong? If we always telling them where they went wrong and they don't have to figure out where they went wrong, they'll get a job and they'll lose it because they don't know how to deal with things at work because it doesn't work out the way you thought it would. Let's look in the comment lounge. Are we teaching them social and emotional learning and ways to study to make it in the real world? I agree. So what are we teaching them? And I need us to understand that. So think about when you're teaching, what are you teaching your students? What are you teaching them? When somebody gonna ask them, is that a right angle? Is that an acute angle? Like, figure out in the real world where they would use that and have them build on that foundation than to keep just doing it. Just because Miss So-and-so said this was our homework. Let's not. Let's move. All right, we're not going to tarry long. So the battle between caring so much about students and not getting consumed wanting to save them. I truly wanted to save my students. I truly wanted to save each and every last one of them. And I would go beyond the norm to save my students. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Because I know my God-given son, I truly did what I needed to do to save him. And some of my students, I cared so much about them. And Erica, in Cabrini, I cared so much about my students. I really wanted to save them. So that's a battle sometimes. And I know that in my season of there's a lot of things that I did as a new teacher that I would not have been able to do if I had been a married teacher. And I know that. I know in some of the years, the things that I did, I couldn't do that and be married because like my God-given son was my student that came to live with me. I raised him. And I do believe that in that season, had I been married, that would have been a struggle. I would have had to answer to someone, to my husband, before I could do what I was doing for the kids and the amount of money I spent on class and buying supplies, buying food for my students, would I have been able to do that? I don't know. I can't honestly say that I would have been able to do that. So I get it, but I remember Susan Farnan was one of the teachers at the school where I just retired from. She goes well beyond to make, and she's married with children. And she would go beyond that little, that line. She would make sure that her kids were taken care of. And she had to have conversations of, did you do that again? Did you spend this money on that again? Because we give our heart. We give our hearts to our students. We give our hearts to our students. Am I saying that something's wrong with that? No, it's not. I'm not saying that. Now think about this as your challenge. Just think about this. Struggle on, my friend. Everything that I talked about tonight, I'm not telling you not to struggle with it. Struggle on. I know the struggle is real, but it's also what transforms us to our most wholehearted selves. This is what allows us to be that teacher. Things like this allow us to be that teacher because we go beyond the walls of our classroom for our students. So the Copy Room Lounge, Janine says, I feel like that is for me for right now due to the virtual setting and not knowing, I'm trying to read it fast, not knowing what my students are dealing with at home. Yes, that's difficult because you don't know what they have. You don't know what they don't have. All right. And then we say, Jeray said, I have to agree with Jan. Yep. Janine. I say Jan, Janine, Jenny. All right. We see so many different aspects of what goes on at homes, but we never know what continues with them, with the meetings when the meetings have ended. Got it. I got it. I was trying to think ahead of you. We don't know what's happening. And we pour so much into our students. And then when you see an environment that's not that doesn't it doesn't rise to your thoughts or what you think their home should look like, you're like, oh, and you want to do better. You want to teach them. And then the kids come to school with, clothes not up to par, gym shoes not up to par. We want to give, and we end up giving, and we make a difference. We make a difference. And my foundation, we literally sponsored a family's Christmas. We got their sizes. We got everything, what they wanted for Christmas. And I found a way to sponsor their Christmas. I really did. Because it was just about them. It wasn't about me. So how do you go about helping beyond? No, she said I was typing too fast. That's all right. I get it. I was doing this. I try to read, and I think it's me sometimes because I read so fast. But keep being amazing, y'all. Do not let the battles that happen within stop you from being amazing. And just figure out, don't try to find balance in that thing. Find a rhythm. Find a rhythm. And once you begin to find that rhythm, it'll flow. It'll flow. Keep caring. So there's no challenge tonight. Don't stop doing what you're doing. Keep doing it. Be that teacher. Let them call you that teacher, and it's okay. They can call you that teacher because when they call you that teacher, guess what? That teacher is the one that the kids remember. That teacher is the one that kids talk about. That teacher is the one that changed the environment of the school. That teacher is actually the one that transforms lives. That teacher. The one that has the internal battles of going too far. Now, there is some too far. Now, I'm not saying that. There is some too far. But if your too far is just caring for them, keep caring, keep loving on your kids, and don't stop. Don't stop. And don't let anybody tell you that it's too much for your kids. Be that teacher, but don't lose yourself or your own life. Don't do nothing illegal. But my thing is to make sure that you're impacting their lives the best that you know how. The best that you know how. And don't let anyone make you feel like you're wrong because you're that teacher. All right. That's it. That's all, says the clock on the wall. Go be amazing on purpose. Keep being that teacher. Let them say it. It doesn't matter. All right, y'all. Take it easy. I had to do it. I had to do it old school and hold the phone up. All right, y'all. See y'all.